Okay.
Hi, this is Natalie Clack, Head Life Coach from Just Be Coaching Company in Johannesburg, South Africa. Welcome to Natural Self-Help Tools for the Busy Entrepreneur. This is where you will learn about natural self-help tools that you can find that are easy to learn, easy to incorporate into your daily lifestyle, that will make your business life a little bit easier and your personal life simpler, calmer, and more relaxed. And today we are going to interview Lorie Wu. And Lorie is a CEO of Reset Your Mind 1111. Lorie Wu is an intensive breakthrough in NLP mindset coach, master certified in NLP, timeline therapy, and hypnotherapy, who resides in Las Vegas, Nevada. Lorie's a heart-centered entrepreneur and a light worker who is highly intuitive, empathetic, and is passionate about fulfilling her life purpose of helping transform people's lives all over the world. Lorie primarily helps self-sabotagers and overthinkers who lack purpose break through the shackles of their past, leap forward with balance in body, mind, and spirit, and gain the clarity and confidence to achieve what they truly want. With clients in the USA, UK, Canada, Philippines, and Australia who've gotten quick, long-lasting, life-changing results in one-on-one breakthrough sessions, Lorie is excited about what the future holds, as she believes everyone has the power to do what they set their mind to do and deserves to live a happy, fulfilled life where their past does not define them and their possibilities are endless. Welcome to the show, Lorie. Nice to have you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I'm happy to be here, Natalie. Thank you.
Awesome. Please, will you tell the audience about yourself and your business?
Yes. So as you said in my introduction, I'm an intensive breakthrough NLP mindset master practitioner or master coach. And I really focus on helping people like who really don't know how to get out of their own way. Maybe they have past trauma, limiting beliefs, negative emotions that they've been holding on to. But really, I honestly believe everybody's here for a purpose, right? Everybody has God-given gifts and are here to be more, do more, you know, should deserve to have the life that they've always dreamed of and wanted. And my goal is to, or my purpose is to help them become their best self and live their best life so that they can live the life that they've always dreamed of.
Oh, that's awesome. I feel that's an imperative situation. You know, most of us allow those things to stand in our way. And for decades, we held ourselves back. It's nice that you can step out there and maybe fast track it for some of us. Awesome. Absolutely. So tell me, what do you use to assist you daily to deal with the hurdles that come your way as an entrepreneur in this fast-paced world?
Well, one, I believe everybody should have mentors and coaches because we all need a coach, right? So currently I have like 4 coaches that I'm working with who have had the success that I desire. But I guess for me, when a hurdle comes up, what I like to do is ask, for what purpose is it happening? And I realize that, you know, acknowledge that everything happens for a reason, but I ask myself, like, what can I learn from the situation? There's always a lesson to be learned. And the other thing too is that I look at what the real issue is and say, you know, it's like, how can I find a solution, or how can I improve, or what can I change to really improve or solve the, you know, we're always looking for a solution, right? So it's, what can I do to improve the situation, not just go, oh my God, you know, what am I going to do? And start freaking out, right? It's like, I want to acknowledge that there's always a lesson, it's happening for a purpose, and there's a way to figure it out. So.
Wow, I like that mindset. You know, it's very important that we follow that path, right?
Right. It really is. That's the biggest lesson I think I've learned in the last 2 years. Like, it's all about mindset. And I honestly believe that people have the power to change their mindset and have, you know, the ability to do anything that they set their mind to do. So
yeah, absolutely. I like that. And what challenges have you experienced as a busy entrepreneur, and what tools have you used to overcome them?
I would say procrastination, self-doubt, lack of confidence sometimes, not using my time effectively for income producing activities all the time, you know, easily getting distracted. Comparing myself to others, and for me it was perfectionism versus actually taking massive action, right? So in order to overcome these challenges, I had to really look at what was coming up for me and really use the tools that I've been given, as a master practitioner, because we have the tools to let go of the limiting beliefs and, work with other coaches as well if it doesn't work when I do it on my own. But the other thing to conquer the self-doubt and stop being so hard on myself, I pretty much had to take a good look at myself, really see, okay, you know what, why, for what purpose is that serving me? It's not, right? It's like I was playing small. I decided I needed to create a new identity and really let go, like fully let go of all the things that were no longer serving me. So like me playing small, I compare it to like standing on the edge of a ledge, about to jump off, but like you're like afraid, you're like going, oh my God, do I have wings to fly? Do I, am I gonna crash and burn because nobody's there to help me? Like what, but got to realize that I can trust myself. I believe in myself. I believe, it's like, I know I have the confidence. I know I have the ability to serve, and it's all about, serving others. So I decided to create a new identity for myself and really embrace that. So powerful, like I am statements. And my word for this year was, last year my word was unstoppable. This year it was limitless with a billionaire mindset. And I had to draw the line in the sand and say, you know what, it's like, there's no reason why, I should need to be getting in my own way, that I shouldn't be putting myself fully out there. Like, I believe everybody should be fully authentic and genuinely, sharing what they need to share from their heart. And that's really what it's all about, being authentically you and being, standing in our power, because we have the power, like I said, to do anything. And just adopting that mindset, believing that, constantly putting like the affirmations, not just saying them out loud every morning but like putting them like by my vision board in the bathroom mirror, like reminding myself of like what I'm trying to accomplish, why I'm doing it, going over, like reminding myself, okay, you know what, it's like if I feel that self-doubt or that lack of confidence, it's like I have to go back and remind myself, okay, what is my purpose? Why am I doing this? Right. So that helps. The other thing too is I recently changed my sleep pattern. I was part of another coach's workshop, and she was like, okay, if you want her workshop, it was cool because it was like, okay, how to be more effective with your time and still have fun. She was all about having fun. You got to enjoy it and have fun, right? Otherwise, why are we doing it? That's why
absolutely.
But it was cool because she and I said to her, I said, okay, for sleep, it's like, if I used to go to sleep if I go to sleep before 10:30, my body's so used to only like 4 or 5 hours of sleep. So I'd be waking up at like 2:30, 3:30 in the morning. Right. And I'm like, okay, there's too much time in the day. like I'm going to get tired eventually. And so that was a big adjustment. And I found myself having to take naps during the adjustment. But now it's been adjusting better, because now like my body's like, oh, okay, it's like, yeah, go to sleep by like closer to midnight, wake up or if it is 10:30, 11, whatever, and then wake up. I've been waking up like at 5 or 6 in the morning. So it's like occasionally it'll be like at 4 in the morning, but I'm like, all right, go back to sleep, like you still got another hour, like just. And so my body's adjusting to getting more sleep and still being more productive, because I am waking up earlier. So I find myself a lot more wide awake, more energy at 6 in the morning. And then the other thing that I totally believe in, which is a powerful tool that I include in my coaching and that I also learned from another coach, was to have your own daily personal power ritual. And, a lot of times we talk about self-care, right? But when she asked me what self-care meant to me, it was like, okay, going out and getting a 2-hour massage, or going out and pamper myself, nice dinner or whatever. And she's like, no, she's like, that's great. She's like, don't get me wrong. She's like, that's a part of self-care. She's like, but what about every day? Not just when you are burnt out and feel like you need a break, right? Like we get so stressed and we don't take the time to recharge and revitalize our energy. And so she talked about, I love this daily personal power ritual, because she said, it's simple to start with like 30 minutes, right? And 10 minutes you can do like an exercise to revitalize or recharge. It could be any form of exercise for physical rejuvenation, to get your body energized and moving in the morning, right? First thing. So that's first thing. Second, for mental or emotional, you can I don't know if it really matters on which order on the second and the third, but like mental and emotional, you can either do a gratitude journal or listen to music, like 3 favorite songs for like 10 minutes, or do a gratitude journal, write down what you're thankful for. And then the mental was also like, one of them was also to read a good book, or 10 pages of a good book, like a personal development thing or something like that. So that way, you know, or you can actually, I think that was the biggest one that I saw, where it's like most people were like trying to read a good book to mentally fill yourself with something positive for the day. And yeah, so that was
powerful.
that was very helpful. And the reason why I think it's most powerful, because the way she described it, she's like, look, she's like, because we don't take care of ourselves. She's like, imagine, you know, we're all busy, we're all coaches, we're all entrepreneurs, or have some sort of business, right? And, or, you know, we have a job or career, but it's like, if you're going to have a meeting and if you're not full of energy, it's like, who are you serving? Like, what are we really doing? Right? We're overworked and are feeling underappreciated or whatever, you know, or we're not full of energy. How are we going to be able to give our best selves to serve others? So she said, the best thing about that is like, what if you could wake up with an overflowing cup of energy for yourself, so that you have the energy to get all the things that you need to get done throughout that day without the stress and the overwhelm. And before you even get on anybody else's agenda, like you're recharged for you before you could serve others. So I love it. And I've been trying to incorporate that and make that a habit. And then an evening ritual that works too is to review at the end of the day. Like, you know, I don't know about you, but I wasn't always a person that had like a major to-do list, but I know a lot of people there are out there that have like a million things on their to-do list, right? And they feel like they're running behind, they can never get anything done, right? So one of the things that the one that incorporated like changing my sleep pattern and trying to find more time, she was saying that you can be a lot more productive by taking the one major thing or 2 major things that was the most important thing that you need to get done for that day, and get that done first before 12 noon. Whatever time it is for you, it's like put 2 things that, at least 1, if not 2 things that are priority for that day. That way you make sure you get the most important thing done, and the others, you know, it's like, it's all about prioritizing. Okay, what's most important? Not looking at a whole list of like going, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed, I can't do this, I don't have time, like freaking out going, I'm never gonna get anything done, like how am I, you know. But it was all about balance. The other thing we incorporated was this little fun spin wheel that had like a whole bunch of things to have like one moment of fun in your day. So it could be even like, you know, getting frustrated and yelling into a pillow to release the frustration. That was fun. It could be listening to your favorite music like super loud, eating dessert first, you know, cooking your favorite meal, you know, or going out in nature, you know, whether you're into water or hiking or some kind of fun outdoor activity to get you to rejuvenate and ground yourself with nature. So, but it was all about a reminder, like every day, like, okay, you know, what's going to happen on this wheel today, you know, and you can change out like the things on the wheel and put other fun activities if you didn't like the ones that were on there. So it was like, all right, you know what, it's like, do your daily ritual throughout the day. It's like, okay, you need a little break. It's like, okay, spin that wheel, see what comes up for you.
Oh, that's awesome.
And,
wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Those tools, I'm telling you, there are a whole stack already that I need to incorporate, because I'm one of those people that has that to-do list that's never ending and forever growing. And to stop that wheel is a nightmare. That's valuable, honestly. You've just dropped dynamite.
It's all about having fun, right?
Audience. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm not even going to ask you if they're easy to learn and use and incorporate, because they are. They're just simple steps. They're really incredible. Okay, so what suggestions? Yes,
it's really all about what you focus on and what you prioritize, right? And having the right energy, because everything's energy, right? So again, it's so important to have those daily practices in place so that you are rejuvenated and energized, not taking your crap from the first day, like onto the next day and letting that be in a downward spiral, right? It's having that balance.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, at the end of the day, like you said, it does become a downward spiral, and then to try and bring yourself back up again.
Oh, it's hard.
Times the work.
The harder it is, the harder it is. I think a lot of people struggle with, and end up having like anxiety and the anger and the other issues like of depression and because they don't know how to snap out of that. They don't know how to prevent it from being a downward spiral, or they don't know how to change their mindset to look at things differently. And it could be a number of factors, right? It could be, like I said, they're holding on to stuff. Like I found out before my mom passed, when she was going through illnesses, like I found out she was holding on to anger and resentment towards a family member that had already passed. And it was just like, and then she also stopped talking to her own brother. And I was just like, why do you hold on to these things? Like, God only knows how much else you're holding on to from when my parents got divorced. It's like, what the, and that's usually the root cause, like trapped energy and emotions. Like it's usually the root cause of health and health issues. Right. And so, that's the other thing I'm passionate about. It's like, because I saw what happened with my mom and all her illnesses, I'm like, man, if people had these tools to let go, or had, able to understand better, like, because one of the other things I incorporate in my coaching, there's a device that I use that actually allows you, it's called inner voice scan. And well, that's one of the scans that this device can do. And it's pretty cool, where somebody can talk into the device for literally 10 seconds. And it'll spit out an 8-page report of where your emotions are out of balance and which emotion is being suppressed. So it does 3 out of 4. It's based on harmonic notes, almost like somebody taking a lie detector test, right? It like knows. And then it also not just gives you a report on, like, let's say like the positive and negative side of the emotions and where it could affect your body if it's not addressed, like what illnesses it could cause. But it also gives you harmonics that people can download and actually listen to. So they're like 3-minute a piece for each, coordinated to each feeling that is out of, or emotion that is either out of balance or suppressed. And they can listen to download those harmonics, and either get a boost of energy or help them go to sleep or just help them bring them back into balance. So it's pretty cool.
That is epic. Now that's something I can hear screaming, I want to know more. Right. Because that's epic. The thing, like you were saying about your mom, I found that recently I've been on quite a high power healing experience and met a lot of healers over the globe. And you don't actually realize what those negative thought forms and psychological programs that you're running in your head, they've become so much a part of your everyday life that it's just par for the course for you. And you need that outsider that's just going to give you that insight to say, hey, but just look a little bit further and see. Look at your routine of thought. Look at your routine that you follow just on a day-to-day basis with how you behave, how you act, how you react. And that only comes from an outside opinion. And best not someone close to you, because who's going to listen to them? They're always saying everything and they're being so negative and they're so critical. So you never ever, accept and understand and look at it. Yeah. So I think that's very powerful. I think people must definitely hook up with you to find out some more. Yes. I think it's going to be a life-changing experience, honestly.
Well,
so tell me, what suggestions? Sorry.
I'm going to add one more thing. What you just said, right? It is so important because we're not usually consciously aware. A lot of these things are like in our subconscious or unconscious, and that's what controls like 95% of what we do. We're just not aware. So it's all about, for me and my coaching, it's all about tapping into their unconscious mind, not just like talking about it, right? So it's different from traditional therapy, especially important with people who have dealt with trauma, right? We're not trying to reinforce trauma, make them relive the trauma. It's all about tapping into their earliest memory of like what may have triggered it, but like what they're meant to learn from it, right? So we're trusting our unconscious mind to bring up that memory or the earliest memory and seeing what is best can be learned from it so that they can really release it, so that there's no longer having like such a negative charge or supercharged for them to actually go into that downward spiral or be triggered. So
So basically, essentially, you're looking at initial sensitizing event as opposed to all the secondary ones that lay it on top.
Yeah, because if you go to the earliest event, like our subconscious mind or unconscious mind, like actually stores all our memories, right? So when you go to the earliest event, think of like a string of pearls. And so it's like the earliest event, it's all connected. So as you go to the very earliest one, because that's the most important, where it's like kids in the 0 to 7 age are imprinted. So like we follow and they get programmed that way. It's like you want to go to the very earliest event, because that if you can release the earliest event, usually it releases all of it, like all the subsequent events. That may not always be the case, depending on how, they go through the process with the timeline therapy, but a lot of times it is. But we can revisit different events along the timeline as well. So
yeah, I've noticed predominantly because, if you go to that 0 to 7 period, and even sometimes in the womb, you look at all your behaviors and the decisions you make in your life later all seem to come from that same foundational concrete block that you were standing on there. Yeah,
absolutely. Yep,
absolutely epic, honestly. Okay, so what suggestions would you offer our listeners if they face the similar challenges?
I would say for them to look at what's going on with them, and again have that mindset of like asking themselves, for what purpose is it happening? What can I learn from? Because everything really does happen for a reason. They're meant to learn a lesson, right? They may not agree with, like, they may not enjoy the process of like why it's happening, but what I've learned over time is that obstacles appear because you set a goal. It's evidence that you set a goal, right? And the universe is going to come and test us and make us realize, like, hey, is this what you really want? Like, and if you're not learning the lesson, or if you're not in flow and allowing yourself for things to happen, then it's like, okay, what are you resisting? What are you resisting, so that you're not allowing things to happen as they should? Because everything, timing's right, and everything happens for a purpose. Just like when earlier today, when we had some some technical difficulties, there was a reason why that was happening. Don't know what the reason is right now, for what purpose, but there was a purpose, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, funnily enough, we still got a very good recording after all of that.
Yeah. Yes. And then the other thing too is it's them like focusing on really asking them the question, like, because it's usually a lack of certainty or a lack of clarity on what they really want. Because I think so many people get caught up, in their busy lives, of where they're at, and they don't take the time to actually look at themselves and look at their life and say, okay, what is my life purpose? Why am I here? We're not just meant to I know I had a huge aha moment when I was hating my pharmacy job, pharmacy tech job. And I was killing myself working 2 jobs, going, I know I meant for more than this. Like, I didn't sign up for this to be treated like dirt, to be feeling like I'm overworked, underpaid, underappreciated. Like, there's so much more to life than that. And life, our life is short on this earth, that, especially now we realize that even more so with COVID, right? Life is so short. So whatever people, like I said, people are here to do more, meant to be more, meant to have a purpose, figure out what their purpose is. So it's like, I encourage everybody out there to like really take a look, take the time to just sit and think and meditate and go, okay, you know what, or write it down, journal it, and say, what is my life purpose? Why am I here? What are my gifts? What are my talents? What do I really want for myself? Because a lot of times, like I said, we give so much, especially as women, we give so much to so many other people, or we're worried about our kids, we're worried about our family, we're worried about everybody else, but we don't take the time for ourselves. So it's like, really ask yourself, like, what do you want for you? And that was the huge change for me, because it's like, I was such a people pleaser with my parents, especially. It's like, oh, anything they wanted me to do. It's like I never really wanted to do pharmacy. I wanted to study psychology and do all these things, and taking every psychology class just for my dad to say, oh, you're going to come meet my secretary tomorrow, because she has her master's and her PhD in psychology, but she's my secretary right now. And I'm like, but I'm not your secretary, right? I'm like, and so I said, okay, I'm going to study business. And my mom, and he was like, no. And I'm like, so I looked at my mom, I'm like, I'm not listening to him no more. like, what do you want me to do? And she was a nurse all her life, but she she was like, okay, well, you're good at science and math. She's like, I wouldn't be a nurse if I had to do it all over again. I would do pharmacy. So she's like, you should do pharmacy. And I was like, okay, I guess. Right. Although I still wanted to pursue psychology. So, after losing her and pursuing that before I lost her, seeing, like I said, what she went through with her illnesses, realizing that she was holding on to all these things, it just fascinated me. And I'm like, yeah, there's a huge difference between being a follower and like critically thinking for yourself, right? Like we all have the power to choose what we do. We have the power of choice. It's just that society, we get so caught up in what society thinks we need to do certain things, or we listen to the news, or we listen to all the negative things out there. And instead of realizing that, wait, I really do have a choice. None of that is directly affecting me personally. It's like I have the power to change, you can change people. That's what people don't realize. Like they don't need to settle, right? They have the power to change anything they want. And if they feel stuck, then reach out to somebody who can help them relieve all that stuff. So
I agree wholeheartedly. I did the same thing, typical journey, did the whole business thing, went the corporate route. And now after the age of 40, I'm now starting a whole new focus in my life because I downsized it and only used it as a hobby. And granted, when I look at it, there were good reasons behind it, because, your journey and what you learn and the lessons and the process I took to learn the skills that I have today are what are making me the most powerful for my business.
Absolutely. So, we wouldn't be here, who we are. Yeah, we wouldn't be who we are if we hadn't gone through those situations. And I think sometimes we misconstrue that and look at our past experiences like, oh my God, I can't believe all this stuff happened to me. But you got to look at it from a different perspective. And that's why I honestly believe everything happens for a reason, right? You may not understand it at the time or realize or enjoy it at the time, because you're going to go through ups and downs and challenges, right? But you got to look at it as a blessing in disguise at the end of it, because eventually if you learn the lesson and you look back, it's like, okay, I would not be the strong person that I am today, willing to do whatever it takes and be committed to what I'm willing to do for my purpose. Because at this point I'm like, okay, life's too short. Like, why am I doing things that are not aligned with my long-term vision or goals? So when, for our listeners out there, it's like, have goals, set, all the things that I don't know if you did this, but I know when I was a little kid in school, they were like, oh yeah, what do you want to be when you grow up? Or like, what did you always want to do? And we had interest, right? But like something shut us down along the way and said, oh, you can't do that. Or our inner voice pops up and go, oh, you're not capable of doing that. You're not worthy. You don't deserve that. Right. But we are, right? There's so many unlimited possibilities out there. It's infinite. And people don't realize that they don't have to settle. They don't have to stay stuck. And that's why I'm so passionate about, I'm like, no, things can change like that fast. It's putting a plan together, figuring out what you really want, and having the universe conspire to help you. The more clarity you have, and the more, you allow things to happen, as they should, instead of resisting it. And realizing that, accepting that you do have the power to manifest. You do have the power to like have unlimited, and you do deserve it. We all deserve it. So that's just me.
No, I agree though, because the more I've managed to understand the importance of affirmations, and the fact that affirmations aren't just statements, but that if you state them with that deep emotion that you have,
you've got to
attach, like my life is filled with fun and laughter, and I enjoy being alive. You've got vibe behind it, and that actually brings things into your life faster. So it is
that alone. You just brought up another good point that I totally forgot to mention. I'm also about visualizations, right? So I take people through a lot of guided visualizations, and it's super powerful. Like, not just, and this is why New Year's resolutions never work, right? It's like, oh yeah, we're going to the gym and all these things, right? No, you got to have a reason why you're doing it, and you got to attach that emotion, but you also got to visualize. So that's why, like, when I ask people to realize, like, okay, what do I really want, right? Write out, like, do a brain dump of like all the goals and all the things that you've ever wanted, and now visualize. And I take them through a guided visualization where they can visualize like all the things, them actually having it, because your unconscious mind doesn't know the difference, right? So it's like, if you can imagine yourself already having all the things and how you would feel, how you would, the things that you hear, and really having that huge clear picture, I can help them put that goal in their timeline to make it even more and solidify that. But it's the powerful visualization, right? Having a clear picture of like what you really want, putting all that energy in there, putting it out to the universe, going like, no, like I already have this, like it's already done, and it's like, here's how I feel, here's, and you, I'm not saying like act as if, but like really visualize like you already having it, because guess what? It's like, you can have it, right? And the more powerful it is that you visualize it, give it all the energy, attach the emotions, what do you feel, what do you hear, what do you see, and make it super clear, the faster you can manifest.
Yeah, it makes sense. If you go back to when you were a child, and I had a lot of emotional trauma, so I never really allowed myself to dream my life into space. But if you look at those people that dreamed so hard and they role played a lot as children, they had the perfect marriage, and they had the beautiful house, and they were going to grow up to be 80 or 60. Yeah. And those people went out and they got it. And it's because they started it on the right foundation. So, sometimes you can't redo the childhood angle, but you can definitely start from adult life and have a look and see what it is you really want. You're right.
Absolutely. It's never too late. It's never too late to dream. Like, I've talked to people out there who were potential clients, or just to have a conversation and to see if they could be a potential client. And one of the guys that thought about joining my program was like 69 years old. He's like, man, he's like, I really love what you have to share, because it's like, I feel like at 69, like, I want to know, like, I don't feel like I'm 69 years old, but I want to pursue like this dream that I've always had. And I'm like, well, you're still here. Like, you have the power to do it. Let's go. Like, let's make it right. It's like, it's never too late. And that's my biggest thing, no matter what trauma you went through, no matter what, it's the power of your unconscious mind, your power of imagination. It's never too late to dream. And I always say, like, dream bigger, because don't limit yourself. It's like, don't let anybody stop you from dreaming, like, thinking that you have to be limited. Because like I said, it's infinite possibilities, right? And everyone deserves to have more and be more and do more.
Yeah, absolutely. That takes me to those affirmations where someone taught me about the what if. What if you could have the best life ever? You could have that car, you could have that ski boat, you could have that resort. What if? And really delve into it and really experience it. Hey, it's exciting. Hey, if we could really have done these things years back, instead of waiting so many years to get to where we are.
No. Trust me, I know. We're not getting any younger, but again, it's never too late.
No, for sure. And if we can fast track it for people that come to our courses and our programs, that would be epic, really. So can you tell us, how would the audience reach out for you for a one-on-one, or to book sessions, access your tools?
How can they access me? Either on Facebook. You'll get my Facebook link. I have a Facebook group, which is Solutions for Self-Sabotage. They can also reach me at my email, resetyourmind1111@gmail.com. I'm also on Instagram. I have my link there for Instagram. And then if really, they can reach me on WhatsApp with my phone number. If you want me to read it, I can. I don't mind.
No problem. We'll put it all in the chat for you, and then they can reach out to you. That's awesome. So we can understand. Okay. And what tools and programs do you offer that they can maybe possibly use in the comfort of their own home?
Yeah. Right now, all my coaching is one-on-one. I do run a couple of, I just ran my first masterclass for group last month, or no, a couple weeks ago. But I'm planning on doing probably 1 to 2 masterclasses a month for group coaching, which are free. So they can always join the group and learn more about that. But my program is actually all one-on-one. So right now I currently offer a 1-day breakthrough and a 2-day full breakthrough. The 1 day is like 8 to 10 hours, and gives you 30 days of ongoing support. The 2-day one is up to 16 hours and gives you 90 days support. And really the program, I call it Quantum Leap Your Mind, Body, and Spirit to achieve what you truly want. I have three main parts to that, and I'll briefly go over that. In Awakening, I basically help them identify how their past has influenced them, again, so they have a better understanding of the roadblocks that are holding them back from having a success and being able to live their best life with joy, purpose, and fulfillment. I help them get crystal clear on what they're striving for, what motivates them, what drives them to take action, so we can put a clear plan together on what. And in the 2-day one, we also look at their values, what is most important to them, again, to see what's most important, so that their values are actually aligned with their goals and what they want, because that's super important. And then in Releasing, we take a closer look at how what I was talking about, the emotions. We look at the emotions that are out of balance, and you get the harmonics, you get the report. And then I actually help them release, like I said, the major negative emotions of fear, sadness, hurt, anger, guilt, and shame. So it's a full thing. Because a lot of people, probably have suppressed emotions that maybe they didn't realize or they're not willing to admit. And then it's like your subconscious mind, when we tap into it, it's like the memories come up and they're like, oh my God, it is there. It's like, maybe I blocked it out because it was years ago and I went through all this. And like, I've had a lot of clients who say, oh yeah, it's like I've gone to years of therapy, but this is a totally different way of looking at it. And this is totally helping me, because it's really getting the lesson that you're supposed to learn and not reliving the trauma. Right. And then we also, again, I want people to be able to let go of the limiting decisions and beliefs so they can rewrite their story. Because, it's the stories we're telling ourselves, right? It's our inner voice and all the things that we were programmed to think that aren't true.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You should be able to let go of that and have a new mindset that you feel more empowered, more feel good about yourself, and really believe like you can really do anything you set your mind to do, right? Then I hope them inner conflict so they can feel more balanced, because I know a lot of people like are stuck on overthinking. I know that was a problem for me, and overthinking would kept me up at night. And I just wanted, before I found my coaches to release all this stuff and learn all these things, right? I just wanted a remote control to shut down the inner chatters so that I could actually sleep, right? And I'm like, tell me you guys have a solution for this, right? And they're like, yeah, there's a technique for that. And it's really inner conflict between your subconscious and unconscious mind when it's overthinking. And they're like, there's a technique to integrate that. And I'm like, cool. So I did that, and I was like amazed, because it really stopped the chatter. And I was like, oh my God, this actually worked. And so when I was able to come back as a team lead for the next class of practitioners, I was like, how many of you in the room are like overthinkers? I'm like, I got a solution for you. Like, come to the extra exercise hours and do this. Like, I swear it works. And they were like, oh my God, they're like, I need to do that. So
absolutely.
Yeah. And then what else? The other things that are included, like I said, so in Quantum Leap, I help them identify the patterns of self-sabotage again, and so they can develop the new habits and move closer to achieving their goals. I also help them have the clarity on their life purpose and what they really want, so they know exactly what to focus on moving forward, right? And then I help them develop their own personal power ritual, like we talked. So if they don't know what entails, they can do that, so that they do have an overflowing cup of energy before they get on anybody else's agenda, and they can take care of what they need to take care of without going into stress and overwhelm and freaking out. Going, oh my God, I can't get anything done. And then, like I said, it's all about visualization. So helping them have a clear visualization, taking them through that guided meditation and visualization, so they have a clear picture, and then helping them drop their goal in their timeline. So we actually set the goal and put the plan in place so that we can actually put it into motion to happen.
That is incredible. That is a lot of value, action-packed. I cannot see why someone wouldn't want to step forward and actually give themselves the opportunity. Because with those, those tools that you have in place and those shifts, you can really move forward in the most astronomically awesome ways. Wow. And
then I also have access. I also offer a free ebook. I wrote an ebook on how to get the confidence and clarity to go after what you truly want. And that includes part of the visualization process and more about my story of like what I went through to get to where that people. you know. So yeah.
That's dynamite, honestly, absolute
Thank you.
dynamite. Well, I suggest that the audience reach out to you with all of the contact details that are in the chat, like your pages, follow you, and definitely reach out and see if they can get onto your sessions. Do you have any last thoughts for the audience before we close?
Just never settle. Like, really, life is too short. You have the power to do anything you set your mind to do. Reach out for help, because we're here to help you. Me and Natalie, we both are coaches. There's no reason why you have to settle and can't go after what create the life that you've always dreamed of. Like, we all have the power to change and not let our past define us. So thank you so much. I appreciate you for this opportunity, and I look forward, to hearing from our audience.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you to our audience for attending today. It was awesome. And all of these power-packed tips, I mean, that was dynamite. Honestly, I enjoyed our interview thoroughly. Thank you so much for sharing your information with us, Lorie. Honestly. So please, if you like this video, like and subscribe to our channel, connect to us through all the links that are in the chat. And we look forward to seeing you same time, same place every week. Thank you and goodbye.